They say opposites attract.
Well, how about these opposites? Daddies and sons.
You're listening to Daddy and Son.
A podcast where we explore the dynamics of daddy and son relationships, multi-generational views,
And everything else in between.
Welcome back
Welcome back.
to this or program that we used to do every week. But you know what? It's been a busy time.
Things have interrupted, yes.
Yeah, I've had a week that I needed to catch up on some business. You had a week where you need to catch up on some business.
Girl, let's face it wasn't business. They were social events we both had in the way.
Well, you know,
Business does not get in the way of this podcast.
you know, in our industry, showing up to social events is business. You know, being sociable is business. You know.
Well, yeah, it's part of, but it doesn't usually happen on a Friday afternoon.
Well, I don't know. My business can take place anywhere at a strip club, on
We're getting into TMI territory there, but anyway.
at church, in the boardroom, anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, business is business.
Right.
How was the auto show?
I didn't go. My brother did, but
You didn't go?
No, I don't need a new car.
You know, somebody asked me if I was going to go to the auto show this year, and that's the exact response I gave them.
Yeah.
Because they know I like cars.
Yeah.
Vroom, vroom. I love cars. But I said, I don't need a new car. I said, I'll go 2027 because I'll be getting a new car in 2028.
Okay.
I already have an idea of what car I want, but I would still go to see, what the competition is.
Oh, the car show is a great place to car shop for
and
sure.
hopefully by then the Chinese vehicles will be here. So I will have more options. Because what does Republicans like to say? I mean, obviously they're hypocrites, but they like to say that we have the right to choose, and I have the right to choose.
But Canadians don't have the right to choose Chinese product,
Well,
we'll slam you with tariffs.
you know what? I have the right to choose, and I want the right to choose between GM and Ford. And just joking. I need to have the right to choose more than just between GM and Ford.
Do you know something?
What's that?
In 50 years of driving, and I bought my first car literally 50 years ago. I've never bought a North American made car.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
I was buying Ching Chong. Japanese.
There's the last one was German, and it's the best one.
Oh, that's true.
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
right. The
yes.
Audi. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
The technology. You know, when I'm driving that car, I can't even tell if the car is on. The engine is on. That's how quiet it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, mine is quiet
yours
too.
is super. Yours is like you're asleep at night. No, yours is beautiful. I love yours.
And mine is American. That was my first American make because I've never, even when I lived in the UK, didn't have a domestic.
Do you know when your kind of car is really, really quiet? When you can't find a place to charge it and it's run out of power. Which is why I don't want one of those.
I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. I will not put that on me, not on this Good Friday. And you know what? I think that with the opening up of the world market to more accessible, cheaper, high quality EVs, you're going to find people starting to...
Perhaps. But we need more outlets. You do not want to run in. What happened to you running out of gas?
Oh, of course.
On the 400.
Running out of battery. Yeah.
Battery, sorry, wrong word.
You know, you're absolutely right. But I think a lot of that was because we don't invest in the infrastructure because we think that there's not a market for it. Now that we have competition, because that was...
in the EV market.
In the EV market, and prices will be lower, I think it's going to make a big difference in demand And you're going to start to see whoever decides that they're going to do more investments in infrastructure, they will be making a really good investment, really good return on their capital. You're going to see that.
Well, my next car, if I buy another car, because this one isn't basically still a new car.
Yeah, you hardly use it.
45,000 clicks, and it's 5 years old.
Oh, that's decent.
6 years old.
See, I know a bunch of people would want to buy that off you.
Yeah.
That is decent.
Oh, no. Hey, it's performed better than the stock market.
What do you mean? Dow is up.
That's true. I was looking today. It's still going up from December 31st. I can't believe it. I'm waiting for this thing to crash. I really am.
Palm Bound Day. Dow is up. Why are we talking about this?
Mm-hmm. Oh, well.
But how have you been otherwise?
Well, how have I been? This has been the busiest month I've worked since I started working again.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm now in the process of working with a friend planning a trip to South America, and I'm just kind of scrambling about deciding how long to stay here and when to go there. And the front end of a trip planning is, I don't know, I find it stressful. Mm. And then when you've bought the tickets and you've settled on the itinerary, then you can relax till you leave. And then just before you leave, you get a little nervous. And then once you get there, you're having a great time. Does it sound familiar?
Not really. I can't relate.
Oh, that's fun. Now, there's an intergenerational difference. Ding!
I just literally, I book the ticket and go. In fact, most places, I book my hotel or my Airbnb before I buy the ticket. I've already started booking stuff for some of my trips overseas already that's going to happen in the summer. But I haven't bought the ticket yet. And that's okay. I don't stress these things because I know when I get there, it's about just
enjoying and being there.
Yeah. And that's part of the reason why I don't go anywhere for just 3, 4, 5 days. The minimum I'll stay anywhere that I go is 2 weeks because I want to have time to enjoy myself, to live life as a local. I think it's the difference between being a tourist and being someone who is a global citizen who travels with intention.
Alex, the global citizen. I like that. And yeah, it's a different approach to travel. I mean, I go there to see a place and experience it, but I don't have to spend a whole lot of time there.
Then you're not really experiencing anything. You're just literally stepping off a plane, breathing the air, and then going back home. Maybe you may go to a fancy restaurant and eat a dish, but have you really experienced anything?
Fair, well, not bad. Yep, maybe you're right. I mean, maybe what I want to experience, I'm satisfied with what I experienced. But with Buenos Aires, I have a feeling I should really stay there longer than I can. I got to come back for meetings. So anyway. But that's the difference between you and me in the way we approach travel. I don't know whether that's an intergenerational difference. I think you are just a natural traveler, which I like about. I mean, you really are. You can come and go off planes like somebody going to the grocery store.
I do need time to recover, but I do like the aspect of enjoying different cultures and being in different spaces. I think, especially anybody who knows my history, knows that I've lived in so many different parts of the world. Yeah. I've lived in North America, South America, Europe. I was born in the Caribbean.
Yeah. You're a person of the world to begin with.
Yeah. So for me, maybe it's I just don't like being in one space for too long. Right? You've been hearing me saying that I'm going to leave Toronto for the longest time, and maybe because I haven't done it yet, even though I've been saying that I'm going to do it for the past 4 years.
You don't have to. You're always going someplace anyway.
Well, I was going to say, but when I do, I think it's going to be goodbye for good. Like, it's not like I'm leaving Toronto and coming back in a few years. It's going to be goodbye for good.
That makes me sad because I'll miss you.
Because I think my chapter here has come to an end.
Ooh. You sound like another friend of mine.
My chapter here has come to an end. I've been here for 10 years. 11 actually,
God,
12 coming this August.
That sounds like my friend.
And it's like this chapter in my life has come to a close. I'm now in my 30s. It's time for me to move somewhere else. It's time for me to leave a legacy in another community. I've come here, I've done so much. I've sat on boards. I have gotten involved in a local level, in professionally. It's just time for me to go somewhere else and do it all over again.
And you have a very transferable skill. I mean, your expertise in cybersecurity, that is absolutely exportable anywhere in the globe.
Don't you like that, to just always feel reinvigorated?
Is that what you consider reinvigorating? Cybersecurity?
No, but being able to have transferable skills that you don't have to be planted one place.
It's so freeing, yeah. That would be great.
It's like reinventing yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful.
So where do you think you would go? I mean, you've been to enough places. You got a pretty good idea of what's the list look like?
So there are some top contenders. If I do stay in Ontario, it will probably be Niagara Falls. I've mentioned that.
You would move to Niagara Falls?
Yeah, or Milton.
Oh, that's quite a difference. Well, let me tell you, Niagara Falls is basically a tourist town. There's nothing cultural or interesting there. I live
Niagara
there.
Falls. Niagara Falls is in the Niagara Falls region, so Niagara on the Lake more.
Oh, okay.
More likely.
Okay, that's the most expensive real estate in
wine region.
Wine region. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, I buy that.
If I don't live in Ontario, it will definitely be in Alberta. Not in Calgary, so maybe in between Calgary and Edmonton, like Red Deer, or further down in
Medicine Hat. That's near the border.
No, not Medicine Hat, but close enough.
Okay.
Lethbridge. Yeah.
You're quite the Alberta geographite.
Geographite. Yeah, I've thought about it. You've now visited Alberta quite a few times to test out the waters. I've even stayed there for 2 months, rented an Airbnb to see if it was right for me.
Did I know? Yeah, I would know. When did you do that?
I mean, you did know me when I did that.
Of course.
Yeah,
I've known you for like 10, 11 years.
It's I think it was back in 2018. So it was right after I graduated from Western. So it's been a while, but I really did like Alberta a lot. I went to the Stampede. I drove to Banff. Drove to
Banff is beautiful. Well, no, Banff is a bit of a hokey town.
To Drumheller.
Oh, Drumheller.
I went to Drumheller quite a few times. So I really love Alberta. It's such a rich such a rich area.
Can I ask you a question? Would you vote conservative?
No.
Sorry. Everybody there votes conservative.
You know what? But I think
not true. Of
different things, but no. Even if it's true or not, I think different things works for different places, and not because.
I was joking. I mean, I know
no. But
politics.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. When I say different things works for different places, I think, as an example, and I've always had this philosophy: you need different types of liberal leaders for different types of areas, right? Whether you're going to look for somebody who is more centrist or somebody who is, more far left, whatever the case may be, or center left. I think that in some spaces, the way you vote is just based on the times, the geography, the location.
No, so you think culture impacts political?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Well, let me ask you about the culture there, because I notice a difference. How would you characterize the difference between Ontario and Alberta? And it's a little bit like New York and Colorado, or New York and Texas, isn't it?
Hospitality focused.
More friendly people.
Way more friendly.
Yeah.
I was surprised because people kept telling me, don't go, you're not going to like it, you're too black, you're too gay. I did it all. Went camping, drove up north. I told you, drove all over. Everybody was nice. All the diners I went to, everyone was great.
And you drove out there too. That's what's so amazing.
Yeah, I drove. I didn't fly. I drove out there. Yeah.
I've never driven across my country.
You don't know what you're missing.
Well, I got to tell you, you are an adventurer.
You're still young and vibrant, Norm.
You're
Still young and vibrant. By the way, cheers.
Cheers. Yes. What are we not drinking today?
Not drinking. So today we're having some ginger spritz with lemon juice and some beautiful passion fruit Perrier that you brought. Thank you so much. So I'm taking a an alcohol, not drinking hiatus, but an alcohol hiatus for the season of Lent.
Well,
now for those of you who may
God
not
bless
know,
you for that.
For what?
You're sacrificing something during Lent.
Oh, yeah. So those of you who are listening who may not know what Lent is basically Ramadan for Catholics.
Well, it's the 6 weeks leading up to Easter Sunday, which is the celebration of the resurrection of Jesus. So and the one before Easter is Palm Sunday, when you hand out palms. So that all those 6 weeks, and then bingo, we start a whole new season.
Correct. So it runs for 40 days and 40 nights, starting on Ash Wednesday and ends on Good Friday.
That's right.
And this is a period in which you're supposed to reflect, pray, fast, sacrifice, and give charity. So during this season, I am sacrificing alcohol. I'm reflecting on my professional life. I am giving more, especially of my time and to those around me. Particularly, I challenge myself to be a lot more friendly to people. I've started saying hello to more strangers than I usually do.
Well, that's certainly unusual in the city of Toronto because it is definitely not part of the culture here, is it?
No.
This is a cold city in a lot of ways. People are so...
yes and no.
And once in a while, you do come across somebody and you have a smile, you say hello.
Yes and no, but right, because people are polite, but they're not friendly.
Yeah, and
that makes sense.
Yes, and that's very Toronto-ish. That's the standoffish.
If you need something and you ask for it, people will be polite and give it to you. But people aren't just going to walk up to you and be warm and welcoming. That's more of an Alberta thing.
Or the southern U.S.
Shockingly. And when I say shockingly, I mean shockingly.
How about Vancouver?
I'll never forget, anytime I visited Alberta, I've always... One of the last times I was there with my ex, we met a few people and we went stargazing because there was a meteor shower that day.
Yeah, and you can see, when you get out in the country in Alberta, you can see the sky.
We went out into a field in the middle of the night, had a dinner picnic, looked at the stars, the shooting stars, with people that we'd never met. And we were safe, we were fine. I came back home. What a wonderful experience it was, and we still stay in touch to this day.
Yeah. Let me tell you, Nova Scotians are very friendly. Maritimers are very friendly people.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I didn't finish, but that's another place that is on my top 3 list. And you know where else? If it's outside of Ontario, if it's not Alberta, it's not Nova Scotia, I'd move to Spain.
Okay.
I'd move to Spain. Those are my top 3: Nova Scotia, Alberta, or Spain.
I know a couple of friends. One of them is, we were together 40 years ago or so. He and his partner have lived, they've been together 20, 25 years. They live in California, in Palm Springs. Gorgeous home, beautiful. He's an emergency room nurse. He's going to retire this year. They are debating where to move, and the top 3 are Dominican Republic, Portugal, and I said, why don't you add Spain to the list? Because Dominican Republic, it was Puerto Rico. Sorry, it was Puerto Rico. And I thought, why would you go to Puerto Rico? If you're in Southern California, why would you go to Puerto Rico? You might as well go to Europe. Anyway, but I like what you said. This is a time for giving, more giving. Kind of what we were going to talk about today, giving and taking. So that's Do you find it's easier to be giving in that way, or do you find it's a change for you? Because I've always found you pretty giving, generous, open, fun.
You know what? It's and this is why again, giving with intention.
Ooh.
Giving with intention versus of just being a giving person.
Intention of what?
With the intention of grace, with the intention of kindness.
Okay.
Remember,
that's beautiful.
Lent is like I said, it's a season for reflection, prayer, fasting, sacrifice, and giving. So if you're going to be giving, give with intention. I mean, not to say that you shouldn't be giving all year round, but this time,
why not?
If you see something, you offer something. So if I see an old lady walking down the street, rather than just waiting for her to ask for assistance, I offer the assistance. I give the assistance. If I see someone, struggling with something at the gym, I offer my assistance. If I'm walking, I see somebody look confused, they look lost, I offer directions. If I see someone
nice.
sitting on the street side and they have a cup that they're shaking for change, I offer
your credit card.
No. I offer a toonie, and
if you have one,
and a cup of double.
I usually say hello. How you doing? I mean, that's about all I can give because I don't hardly ever carry change except when I come down to the market on Saturdays. Tomorrow, when I drive into the parking lot where you'll be sound asleep at the time,
maybe that's
you'll
why
hear the coins jingling in my pocket as I drive in.
That's how you give with intention. Now that it's Lent, you start walking with change. Right?
Now that's an interesting one.
So rather than you never usually walk with change. So that's the version of you giving with intention.
But I
versus
need it for
intention.
the washing machines.
There'll always be more. Just take $100 down to the bank and ask for some change, and you don't need to give all that. Just 10% of that. Just walk with some change at all times. And when you see some, offer a toonie, offer a loonie, and and a cup of something hot to battle the winter.
Yeah, I think once in a while when I can, especially they hang out over Tim Hortons. I'm tempted once in a while to say, "Can I go get you a coffee?" I did that once. They said, "I don't want a coffee," so it kind of scared me from doing it another time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So this happened to me once when I was driving. When I used to drive. Sorry, I still drive.
Yeah.
I mean, quote unquote, because my vehicle drives itself. But when I used to drive with gas.
Yes.
And yes, it does. When I used to drive with gas, I pulled up to a service station once, and an unhoused guy opened the door for me to walk in to pay.
Oh.
And on my way out, he opened the door again, and he said, "Can I bother you for a change, sir?"
This was the door of the store or your door?
No, the door of not the vehicle of the service station.
Right, got it.
And I said, "Well, I don't have any change, but can I offer you something hot to drink?" And he said, "I'm not really looking for something hot to drink right now." I said, "Well, how about this? I genuinely don't have any change, but how about I buy you a lottery ticket?" And he said, "Thank you."
Oh.
And I bought him a lottery ticket. I came out, I gave it to him, and I said, "I hope you win something." And that was it. And he was very thankful.
Even though it didn't do a damn good thing for him.
Well,
but cheered him up. I mean, it was what it did for you because you had the pleasure of giving, and he appreciated you, and that was a lovely experience, even though you might as well have handed him a $4 bill.
Well, here's the thing. A lottery ticket is only, what, $4, $5? And it's a chance to improve your life dramatically.
Yes, his objective would have been to find some place to find out if he had won.
Well, he's right there. He's right there at the
Yeah, I can
service
take it
station.
inside. Yeah,
You
okay.
can't just take it inside.
I don't buy lottery tickets. I don't know how that works. But anyway.
Because you're a good Christian.
No, it's not. No. It's got nothing to do with that. It's the worst investment you can make.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I've never bought a lottery ticket, but I don't necessarily believe it's.
Oh, you did. You bought it for him. You have bought a lottery ticket.
I mean, not for myself.
Oh, okay.
I still intend to, though. I don't necessarily think it's a poor investment as long as you're doing it with responsibly.
Well, all I'm saying is the odds of winning something are so slim. But
yeah.
But a lot of people get a kick out of that, I guess. You know, I mean, if they want to waste their money on that, that's fine.
Waste their money on a chance of changing your life?
Well,
let me put things into perspective.
It's all
How many people give money to institutions like, I don't know,
hospitals or something, or
schools,
you know,
churches, hospitals,
charity stuff.
It doesn't have to necessarily be charity, because if you're giving money to school for, I don't know, a certification, right? Continuing education, you're doing it for a chance to better your life. But there's no guarantee that you having that extra certification is going to make your life better.
Well, but you have a certificate at the end.
Yes.
I mean, at the end of the lottery, I have a lottery ticket, which, anyway.
You have hope.
I have hope.
You have hope.
I have hope.
Yeah. And you know what they say about hope?
Hope is not a plan. That's what I hear about hope. What do you hear?
Oh, I heard something else.
What did you hear? Did I spoil the moment for you?
No. Again, intergenerational differences. I heard that hope is something that you don't. How does the saying go? Hope is something that you lean in on. Not because it is something that is going to make change, but you lean in on hope because it is the promise that there is going to be change. Something
better.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that has a nicer feel to it than hope is not a plan, which, by the way, I think I heard somebody from the White House say the other day.
That's the conservative in you.
No. It came out of the White House this week about the trade thing or something. I remember somebody on TV answering a reporter saying, "Well, hope is not a plan." And I thought, "Oh, here we go." My ex used to say that to me. Anyway.
I think a lot of our politicians in leadership in North America right now, from Mexico all the way to Canada, there's a lot of cynics. But that's okay. I'll still give them grace. But, what is your take on giving?
What is my take?
And
that's an interesting
not even just for the
juxtaposition.
Lenten season, it's just in general.
Well, giving is, there are people who naturally give. They give of their time, they give of their attention, which is actually sometimes as important as giving anything else. They give their money, they give of their, and there's some people that are not as giving. And I was hearing something today that a lot of givers could improve their life if they would, instead of giving to takers, would find another giver to give to, and they would find their lives would be happier and more joyful and more fulfilled. Because, and this is more in interpersonal type relationship, talking about giving and taking. But giving generally, just as a person, about, when I go out of here later tonight, when I leave and go home, I'll be thinking about this, and I might come across somebody on the street that looks a little unhoused or something, and, how you doing, buddy? In fact, I said that coming here.
But that's not that's not giving back to a giver. And what?
No, that's not giving to a giver. That would be just giving, period, like you were talking about.
I need you to expound on that, because I don't think of giving in the same way. The way I think and feel about giving is that it is something, kindness is like wildfire. If you pass it on to someone else, and then that person is empowered to pass it on to the next person,
Ripple effect.
then pretty soon it will spread
I agree with you. I think that's
like wildfire.
I think that being kind and giving does do that. It does encourage
But if
people.
you're giving to people who already have, wouldn't you say that is how we end up in a situation where the society becomes top heavy? The people who have keep having, and the people who don't have don't have.
Well, that's talking about material giving, I guess, right?
No, not necessarily.
Well, what I've been thinking about is I have had the tendency to meet and socialize with a lot of people who take more energy from me than they give back. And that kind of giving on my part isn't good. And that's usually in people you know in your life. You know what I mean? The kind of giving you're talking about, that's good stuff. That's spontaneous giving. Seeing somebody on the street, in the boardroom, just making a gesture like, Bob, that was a really good comment. I like what you said there. Those are kind of things that cost you very little to say that and do those things. But you're right; they have a ripple effect.
All right, so let's
like that. I like
let's
what you
stop
said.
talking parables, Norm. Spill the tea. Who is taking your energy that you're giving and not pouring back into you?
Well, I'm not going to give names, but I have people like that in
Call them out. Call them out. Let's get spicy.
Well,
Let's
no, that wasn't the purpose of why I brought this up.
Spicy. Let's drop it. Don't
But
speak.
do you know what I mean, though? Do you know that the feeling that someone is
It's
taking
not
from
Easter
you?
yet. You don't need to speak in parables.
Parables.
Drop the names.
No.
No, you're not gonna drop the names. Okay, if you're not gonna drop the names,
nobody would know. Nobody knows who the names
So
are.
if nobody knows who the names are, then drop it. Drop it like it's hot.
Well, let's just say the name is Joe.
Okay. Tell us about Joe. What has Joe been taking from you and not pouring back in?
Well, speaking, I just say that I offer to pay for more things than he does. I get asked to do little favors,
But isn't that material?
but
You just said it was about energy. So which is it?
Well, it's both. Wouldn't you say? I mean, when
I
you're
don't
giving
know.
to somebody,
I don't know what the tea is. I'm still waiting for you to spill it.
you feel like you're putting me on the spot here, buddy. Let me just say that when I'm in the position of feeling I'm giving more than someone's giving back, I don't feel good. And the thing that I saw on YouTube today was this psychologist saying, you givers who are naturally inclined to give, if you have people like that in your life, you need to get away from those kind of people. You need to change your friends. And I'm in the process right now of thinking about several people that I help financially, or I help with putting on my phone account, or do this or do that. I'm thinking, you know what? Or give a lift to the airport. Maybe I'm not going to do that so much. Because I'm not feeling anything coming back. Do you know what I mean? Being drained. Listen, maybe you don't even have that. You probably don't have people like that in your life. I don't know. I do. And I think it's time to change. And I think there's a lot of people out there like me that are thinking, hey, maybe it's time to find some new people.
I think it's about perspective and expectation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, keep going with that. How do you mean?
Okay. I think your perspective on what is being transferred, whether that's energy, time, money, kindness. And when I say kind, I'm talking about in kind, such as like people you meet, like you mentioned, putting on your phone plan, etc. In kind, right? If you are offering this, the question then becomes, what is your expectation in return?
Fair enough.
And they could possibly think in their heads that they are giving back in a way that is equitable for them to where they are right now in life. But they're not, because they're not pouring back into you in a way that is meaningful or impactful.
Yeah.
I think it's very important
Good point.
that people not only set expectations, if you're going to give
for the right reason.
to get something in return,
Yeah.
and don't get me wrong.
No, I know what you're saying. I agree with you.
Hold on. You don't always have to give to expect to get something back in return.
I
And
agree.
especially, you don't always have to give to expect to get your ROI from the same individual, right? My mom used to tell me all the time, when you give, always give with the intention that you won't get anything back. And if you do get something back, don't expect the kindness to be returned from the person that you gave it to. Expect to receive it back through grace,
Yep.
or through karma.
Yeah. I think that's a good attitude. I would agree with that. And the problem is, if you do give with the expectation of getting, and you're disappointed, that can lead to resentment, and that's not good. And that's a cycle you got to cut.
And that's a whole different segment of things. Now, if you do expect ROI, right? From this particular group or people you're giving to, maybe they're closer friends, maybe they're employees, co-workers, maybe they are lovers, right? If you are expecting ROI, return on your investment, then you need to set the expectations. It is high, because we are all different individuals with different mindsets, with different upbringings, with different psychological, cognitive abilities and reasonings.
And you don't know what the other person is thinking.
And you never know what the next person is thinking.
That's right, son.
You think it's universal to you,
Yeah,
but it's not.
It's not. You're
but
right.
it's not.
Yeah.
It's relative.
Yeah.
And so you need to have that conversation as to what the expectation is. So if the expectation is that I give in to you, but when the time is right, I will probably ask you for something small. Give it to me then. I'll have friends who will say, hey, I'll invite them over for brunch or tea or something, and they say, what can I bring? Or like a games night, they'll say, what can I bring? I say, don't bring anything. Just bring yourself. I just want you to show up and bring your energy, bring your kindness. They say, okay, what can I? Or I'll have friends.
That's great.
We'll go out. I'll pay for dinner, or I'll pay for their entry into wherever we're going. They say, can I e-transfer you the money? And I say, no, I don't need you to e-transfer me the money. They say, what can I do? What can I do? I say, what can you do? Someday,
but that's a good friend. That's not a taker.
I say, someday you can give me a ride to the airport.
Yeah.
Someday you can maybe take care of Phoenix for me. Someday you can maybe do this. Someday you can maybe do that.
And they would probably do that.
Yeah, and they'll do it.
Yeah, and that's giving to a giver. The taker is someone that probably wouldn't thank you and wouldn't offer. And I know those kind of people. So, I've got one friend, you know him as Devin. He is constantly thanking me for things I've helped him with. And you know what? I appreciate that so much. I mean, that's a good person. There's no feeling of resentment or anything on that part, because they appreciate the gift. They appreciate, and it comes back in a lot in good fun and friendship. You know what I mean? It's just, I think that, I had a friend that once said a long time ago. He said, Norm, friends are like flowers. every once in a while, you should throw the old ones out and get some new ones. Now, that's a little dramatic, obviously. But,
Very.
Yes, but anyway, that was just kind of what was on my mind tonight.
I like to think of friendships more like plants. You have to
Water them and let
water
them grow.
them, fertilize them, sing to them, wipe the dust off the leaves, repot them from time to time, give it some tender loving care, for them to bear fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not, then they will just wither and die. That's how I feel about friendships. Friendships are like plants, and each individual plant
That's a great analogy.
needs different care. Some plants need more sunlight. Some plants need less attention. Some plants need more attention. Some plants need more water. Some plants need less water.
And you know what? I could never figure out which was which when I had plants in my place.
And if you're the type of person who have the patience to look after different plants, you're probably the type of person who have the patience to attend to different personalities, which is how I look at friendships. They're just different plants that have different needs, and the way in which you give to them will also be different. How much you give, what you give.
That's great. I like that, Alex. That's great.
And what is the equity distribution? All that is just different from person to person to person. And one of the things that I think are, and I'll give you a good example. If you are going to be, and this is something that you probably have experience with, living with someone for many years.
Yeah.
Right?
Which you did,
you're right, who is a romantic partner. You have expectations as to how you will be, each person will give towards the collective household.
Yeah.
Right? And let's face it, you were probably the breadwinner. And you were probably the one
predominantly.
That's what breadwinner is, right?
And he gave other things.
But you were the breadwinner. But he was giving other things, right?
Yeah.
To make it equitable. Now, if I don't know how the dynamics worked, but I would presume that the expectations, right? The contract.
Yeah.
Was set, and I'm not talking about contract, I'm not talking about
I know what you mean. The understanding.
The understanding was set between, the agreement was set between the two of you, as to, okay, this is what I provide, because not everybody is going to be good at the money stuff. There's some relationships, God bless them, where both partners are high income earners, and then there's some that maybe only one is.
Yeah.
Not everybody's always good at the money stuff.
There's a difference, yeah.
What makes it work, or friendships for that matter? Not all friendships, everybody is going to be high income earners. Some friendships, some people may be high income earners, and some of your friends may not. But what makes it balanced? What makes it balanced is, okay, what is the equity that is brought to the table? Right?
Between the two people.
Between or these group of peoples, right? Because polyamory, we don't know. We celebrate all kind of relationships on daddy and son.
Yes.
Daddy and son relationships, monogamy, polyamory, threesomes, etc. We celebrate them all.
Well, I don't know if a threesome is a relationship, but anyway, it's an event.
Sorry, I need to stop you. That's a good one. I don't know if it's a relation. It's an event. I'm stealing that.
Go ahead. See, I gave you something there.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
But let me say, in a marriage, in a partnership, the contract really should be agreed upon and talked about between the two people. I didn't do that in my case.
Are you talking about your marriage now, or are you
Yeah.
talking about your
my
friends that take?
You were talking about my relationship.
Well, that's the thing I'm talking about. Just as how that's what I'm saying. I would assume that in a romantic relationship where you live together, you would have that conversation to set the expectation that, okay, you're not, yes, you step up to the plate and you give this, but here is what I need. Here's what would be impactful for me. Is that okay? And what do you, let's take an assessment of what I am doing.
Yeah.
Am I doing enough? What can I do more, or what can I do different?
And it's good to have that discussion openly between the two people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with friendships. Yes, you are giving something to someone, and if they are not showing gratitude, as an example, call them out on it.
Mm-hmm.
Call them out on that shit. I have done that many a times where I've said, hey, I noticed that I did this. Shh.
That's Phoenix the dog, for those of you who heard the growl. Phoenix, come here if you want. Come here, Phoenix. Come here. There you go. All right, this will be quiet.
Daddy's working. Shh.
Back to live action.
If I expect of you to be, I'm not saying you need to gravel and be like, oh my God, blah, 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 but being gracious, right? Just being thankful.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually having this conversation with Max recently. Happy birthday to
happy
you,
birthday,
Max.
Max.
Shout out to my bestie.
I hope you passed on my happy birthday wishes to
I
her.
did.
Good,
I
good.
absolutely did. And I know she's a long-time listener, so I know she's going to hear this, so you can, pass on the love over
Max.
the airways. We're like, because Max, her personality, she's very vibrant, very bubbly, very lively, and that also transfers into the way in which she expresses herself and how she expresses thankfulness.
Her spirit is very alive.
Very alive.
Yeah, I know
and
that.
I mentioned that to her, that I noticed that people make fun of you for having such a lively spirit.
Oh,
but I
that's
said
delightful.
to her, I see nothing wrong with it. And anytime people do it, I always say to them, I prefer that over someone who is so nonchalant, so dead, or even I have one friend who used to make fun of Max, but he was the type of person who he was horrible at saying thank you. And he acknowledged, because I called him out on it, and he acknowledged that he wasn't good at saying thank you. And his excuse was always, I'm English.
Oh.
And I'm like, you're English, but you're not dead inside.
Yeah.
You only look dead inside, but you're not. Let's not blame everything.
That's a cheap answer.
It is a cheap cop-out.
Yeah.
It was such a cheap cop-out, right? And so I think that you need to call people out on that and set the contract, set the agreement.
And call myself out if I'm expecting something that's unreasonable.
Well, I don't think gratitude is unreasonable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it is.
Okay. You're right. That isn't. Other things coming back might be.
Other things coming back maybe.
But gratitude, yes.
That and again, it is okay to have these discussions. People, we need to get out of the discomfort of asking for what we want or what we need, or most importantly,
you sound like the psychologist on this YouTube today.
What is most impactful to us?
You should go into business, honey. You should go into business.
Business?
Yes, your own YouTube channel.
Oh, it's like business. I don't
We'll
think of myself.
We'll have to think of a channel for you.
Oh, I don't think of myself as a business person, but I'd love to follow in your footsteps and be a lobbyist, Daddy.
Well,
you know what? I'd love to be a diplomat. That's what I think. I think I would be a really good diplomat. I'd love to become a diplomat. That's That's going to be
You have a lot of the skills.
my goal for my fortes. I'm going to start working towards
your
that.
hospitality, your gift for bringing people together. I mean, that Christmas party that I dropped in on back 2 months ago, and on the way back from Burlington for my own Christmas dinner, I was like, "Holy crap! This is a big party here. This is amazing."
I'm telling you, one of the things that I said to Cole, to Madre, is that don't look for me in February. This Black History Month, I'm going to be outside. I'm not going to be socializing as much as I did because all of December, all of January, literally every week and a half, I was having an event. The last one was the first week of February, and I had the Super Bowl party, and that was it.
That was a dud, eh?
I
Not the party, but the game was. The game was a dud. I was sitting there thinking the Bills should be in there. That's all I could think of. But anyway, we
well,
digress.
I only care about the halftime show and the commercials.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it's still something. I still have a team. My team is Team Bad Bunny versus team. My team versus
Team Trump.
Team All American halftime show. So there's still sports going on, I guess. So. What the fuck? I was having fun with it. So yeah, we had that was the last big event, and I was like, after this, I'm done. I'm taking a hiatus for 2 months.
That takes a lot of work, by the way, to plan all that stuff and shop and everything.
I don't think people realize there's a lot that goes into it.
I do.
Colston himself said that I become bitchy when I do these things because I become he says I become controlling because I become so focused on everyone having a good time. I don't necessarily think that is true. I think that's the image that he sees of me. But what is true is that I feel responsible for all my guests. And I feel responsible for...
And it's amazing that you have the energy. And I'll be honest with you, that's an advantage of being younger. You may not feel that same way in 30 years. You may want to do that once a month, not 3 times or 4 times a month.
Well, I don't know. Maybe that will change. I think that's part of my personality.
Yeah,
because I think I'm a high-functioning introvert.
What did you say? You're a high-functioning introvert?
Yeah, I'm a high-functioning introvert. So my tactic is, rather than spreading myself out, doing a bunch of one-on-ones, I like to host these big events where everyone gets to come together, network, connect, and I get to share that same energy with them. And then I'm like, okay, I just saw you. Leave me alone. Bye. Yeah. I'll see you.
You don't have to interact too deeply with any one person.
I think it was in The Great Gatsby. This the quote. I like large parties. Large parties are more intimate. Small gatherings forces you to have to talk to people. Yeah. That's one of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite books.
I think I took that in grade 10.
What, The Great Gatsby? No, we didn't read it in the UK. I actually read that book on my own when I moved to Canada, actually, as an adult.
How about Wuthering Heights? That was grade 11. Maybe it was grade 10. I forgot.
Did read Wuthering Heights. Did you see the new movie?
No, but I'm thinking of doing that. Is it any good? Did you see it?
It is a really good movie.
Really? Oh, should I take it?
Great cinematography.
Oh, I love it.
It's a bit steamy. It's a bit steamy.
Good period piece, though. Lots of old British homes and costumes and stuff. That's what I like.
Yes.
And the steamy as well. That's just part of,
Highly recommend it. I highly recommend going and see it in the theaters. The cinematography, the colors, the set design, the costumes. It is brilliant. Margot Robbie.
Okay.
Brilliant performance.
Can I make an admission?
What's that?
I have not been in a theater to see a movie since before COVID.
I don't blame you. Movie theaters are dirt traps. They've been a lot better at cleaning them since COVID.
Oh, really?
But pre-COVID, anytime I went to the theater, I always got sick. Always got the flu.
I didn't notice that.
Every single time. But now they're doing a lot better. And now I'm a lot more conscious because when I go to the movie, I bring like a bottle of spray alcohol and I spray down the seat. Or I bring Clorox wipes and I wipe it down before I sit down.
A friend of mine does that getting on a plane.
I do that on planes too. Yeah. And I make sure that I try to only go to VIP cinemas. So
Which
that
cinema?
VIP,
Oh, okay, yeah, the small ones. Yeah,
the smaller
Yeah.
ones, that it's not a
Well,
big group of people.
She likes to fly business class too.
This year I'm doing a fair bit of traveling, so I think I may have to scale back.
Oh,
Do some of them economy.
oh dear. We'll go premium economy.
I think I'm gonna have to scale back a little bit because if not, I'll have to cut down some of the traveling.
I'm going business to South
But
America.
to the longer ones, yes, have to because I have a bad back and I have
I didn't
bad
know
legs.
that. You do?
Yeah, too much dancing. It takes a lot to get down into those Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B positions, and then bring it back up.
That's part of your income, your physical.
I know. I have to dance. I have to dance for the money. So it is.
Dance for the money, dance for the show.
It is a part of my income. So a lot to do there. But you know what else I gotta do? I gotta refresh my drink, and then we'll come back for our closing. How about that?
Sounds good.
Let's do that. We'll be right back. And we're back. Drinks all refreshed and going to
Non-alcoholic drinks because it's Lent.
yes,
remember.
because it's Lent. I don't know what your excuse is. That's what mine is. And the moment that the feast of Passover comes, I will be drinking again. As soon as Easter comes around, I'll be celebrating with a nice, crisp, delicious martini. I just think this is one of those things where, again, sacrificing with intention, reflecting. Like I said, this year I chose to reflect on my professional and personal growth, and I am praying. I'm trying to pray again with a lot more intention, and I use that as a way to be a lot more forthcoming.
Really?
With not just myself, but with the people around me. It pushes me to be a lot more. Like I said, I keep using the word intentional, but to be more intentional about the things that I do.
Interesting.
So, this Lenten season is a little bit more reflective for me.
Being more intentional. Now, I've never thought that way.
Especially when it comes on to relationships, telling the people who I love that I love them.
Taking them more seriously than a way.
Taking them more seriously.
Yeah, okay.
So
that's a good idea.
It's not just about being closer to God, but being closer to, because God is love, right? And if God is love, then you should use the opportunity to be closer to those who you love, because God is within them. So, and it doesn't have to be people who you're fucking. It could be people who you
Theology according to Alex. I'm not sure I would put it all quite that way, but I
would be a good pastor. I think I'd be a good pastor. I'd be one of them pastors who dress up in a suit, like a mega church pastor.
Not in a Catholic church, though. I don't.
Oh,
think.
No.
I don't think you belong there.
But I'd be a mega church pastor that takes on Catholic principles, the good parts. Not the bad parts.
You'd
the
be
good
like
parts.
Joel, what's his name, and down there in Houston with all that money rolling in.
Oh yeah, I'll be suspended in the
prosperity
air
gospel. Yes,
with a cherry picker. There will be more pyrotechnics than a Turning Point USA show,
or super. Halftime
at the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, yeah.
I'll be like, I'll have smoke machines when I'm coming out, and making to the stage Reverend Alex Watson. And
Those are called illusions of grandeur, I think,
the
in
beats
the
are gonna
psychology.
pop out. I'm gonna be in my Christian Louboutins and my Gucci suit. Oh yeah, I'd make a really good pastor. A really good pastor.
You just said a few minutes ago you want to be a lobbyist.
I didn't
you're
say I
certainly-
want to be one. I just said I'd make a really good one. I didn't say I want to be one. But
Yes, you would. I think you would, because you're very persuasive. You did a great fundraising job.
like you calling me a cult leader.
No, I'm not comfortable. You were describing the reality, not me.
But I think I want to pivot to become either a lobbyist or a diplomat. That's my goal for when I'm in my 40s. So I have...
Well, I have news for you. Lobbyists and diplomats don't display their wares on stage. You got to, if the pastor does, lobbying and what was the other one? They're sort of a bit diplomat. They're more in the background.
Well, I can be a well-dressed diplomat.
Yeah, I'm not sure you can be in the background though. You're more of an upfront, out loud type guy.
And that's okay. I can be somewhere in between. I can be somewhere in between because I think that in order to have influence, right? Especially because I don't come from money. In order to have influence, I need to have a pull. And part of that pull will mean that I have to be a little bit loud.
Well, if you believe in something and you have a principle or a cause, I can see you being very persuasive, very strong. That's essentially what lobbying is. You're representing a cause, an interest.
Oh yeah, and I've switched careers so many times in my life. I can do it again.
And you can sell. That's right.
And
when
I think you know the right people
yourself.
that you can connect me to.
You know what? I don't need to do that. You'd find them yourself.
That's your way of saying I've nothing to give you?
No, that's not my way of saying it. It depends on... Listen,
Speaking of giving...
There's a technique in any environment where you're lobbying. You'll look at the landscape and say, that person, those are three people I need to get to know and get to talk to. They need to hear what I have to say because they're in a position to influence or decide something that will impact what I'm interested in achieving. That's all lobbying is. I don't have to know those people ahead of time. I have to have a credible reason to want to meet with them and talk to them, and then not waste their time when I go in and speak to them. And come out of there having asked for what I want. That's really important.
Mm-hmm.
So you're becoming a lobbyist just listening to me.
I can do that.
Yeah, I know you can. I'm sure you could.
I can do that. I know how to present to ask. I know how to bribe, and I know how to blackmail.
No. Now we're giving it a bad name. That's not what lobbyists really should do.
Then maybe you just weren't a good lobbyist. Then look at what look at what big oil and big pharma lobbyists do.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I think about lobbying. I think a lot of like backdoor dealings, a lot of money's thrown around, a lot of promises are made, a lot of greasing is done with a handshake.
Promises.
So I think I can do those things. I can find out what people want and seduce them with what they need. Yeah, I can do that. I think I'd be good at that. I think I'd be really good at that. That is a skill. You know why? Because all my life I've had to fight.
You know, I was going to play something. You know, we're talking about promises.
What?
You remember the song Promises? It's Promises. We'll have to put that in the...
No.
It's a song by Naked Eyes, 1983. Promises.
Never heard of it.
Great
The only
song.
promises I know is TLC with Left Eye with her list saying, "Getting sick and tired of breaking promises." That's a song from I think the early 2000s.
TLC?
A girl group called TLC.
Yeah, I think I have I think I have the CD.
You have the vinyl?
No, CD.
CD.
Yeah.
Interesting. interesting.
Yeah.
You always surprise me
Oh,
with
you
your
should see my musical.
with your broad music taste. You do surprise me. Mr. Music Man, you do surprise. We're gonna have to do an episode where all we do is break down your music catalog and what you physically have, how you acquired it, why you acquired it, and what is your favorite music of that era or of that time. We're gonna have to do I think that would make a really fun episode, because I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who are listeners to our show who are big music fans and probably would love to hear about your music taste.
Well, if they're younger, they probably didn't have those songs out today, that's for sure.
Especially someone who has been around since the time of Beethoven. So, the girls want to know. I'm sure the girls would want to know.
Sure.
But anyhow, as a wrap up for today,
yes,
is there any messages that you want the people to leave with, specifically the sons? What do you want the kids to know?
I would say be intentional. I like what you said earlier. Be aware, be intentional, and be open. The person that's open is the person who is giving. And it's better to be a giver in life than a taker.
I like that. I think, like I said before, if we all give and we all give, spread kindness, it will just spread like wildfire.
And you're a giver too, hon.
I would like all the daddies to know that it will not always be equal, but you have the right to demand a relationship to be equitable. It will not always be 50-50, but equity is not about 50-50. Equity is about getting what your return on your investment, getting a return on your investment in a way that is meaningful and impactful
for you. Yeah.
So you have a right to demand that from your sons.
And maybe that sometimes all that is being appreciated and feeling appreciated.
Absolutely. Yeah. In some cases, and in some cases it's okay to ask for more.
I agree with that.
And in some cases, it's good to ask for more. So that's what I want the daddies to know. And for everyone else in between, all the trans, the theys, the femmes, thank you for listening to today's episode. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and subscribe to the show over on YouTube. That is at Daddy and Son Podcast. That is the @ Daddy and Son Podcast over on YouTube. Remember, we are also available on iHeartRadio, so download the free iHeartRadio app and support the show. If you have any questions for Norm, send them over to daddyandsonpodcast@gmail.com. That's DADDYANDSON podcast@gmail.com. And until next time, sons, be good to your daddies.
And daddies, be kind to your sons.
Happy Lent and happy end of Black History Month.